Hey there, Ryan Mel with ArizonaShortSaleTV.com coming at you this beautiful Monday morning. Shooting the video a little bit late. I had a late start. I had some issues with some files this morning, but wanted to talk about something that happened last week in one of our dealings that we had dealing with a bad BPO and a bad BPO agent. And I'm gonna just walk you through a scenario with this file and.
Ryan, as you do, remind us of what a BPO is for the consumer out there.
Great, thanks, Coach. Broker price opinion. That's where the bank will call on either, in this case, it was another real estate agent, to go out to the property and do a value assessment. Some of those may be just an external where they go through the neighborhood and they just give their generic price opinion on what the home should be worth if it's in decent condition, not taking into account anything on the inside. And then there's other BPOs, interior ones, where they'll actually gain access to the property and compare the inside with some of the other properties. But the problem is sometimes they're not getting access to the other properties on the market. They're just looking at what we have and really not comparing it to what else is out there. So in this case, it was another realtor and was called on by the bank to head out to our property. We've talked to the BPO agent and did our thing with them and waited a couple days after it was done and following up with the negotiator. Actually, let me rewind it and walk you back to this file. We got a listing, priced it at $260 and left it on the market for roughly about 2 weeks with no showings, no activities, no phone calls, obviously with no showings, with no offers. Trustee sale date was looming, called the bank trying to get a postponement to the trustee sale date, and they just flat out would not do it without an offer. So we were required by them. They told me to basically just drop the price down to where you need to be to get an offer. So we did that, dropped it down to $230, and we got an offer. And I presented that offer back to the bank. They came back and countered at $280,000. Now, mind you, I had it listed for 2 weeks at $260,000. So the 280, who knows where that came from? Well, we do know where it came from. It was an old BPO that they had completed when our client was going through some other stuff. So they're working with a real old BPO. So we have 280 that they want to go back to the buyer with. Well, I go back to the buyer and explain to them that we need you to come up a little bit and figure out what you need to be at. They came up to 250. So now we have a pretty decent offer. We're at 250. I had it listed at 260 with no action, dropped it. We seem like we should be around at market value. Well, submit everything over to the lender, and just last week we get an email that the file is being rejected. It is being closed out, and we need you to put it back in the market because they're counting at $290,000.
Nice.
$290.
Because this is an appreciating market, right?
Exactly.
That's funny.
So running the comps, we spent hours running comps, making sure did we miss anything that maybe this BPO agent saw that we didn't, and we did not. I mean, there were closings as recent as we found 3 closings within 3 weeks that basically put us right at about 245.
Wow.
Maybe 250. And our home was not in good condition. Let's just say that it was in livable condition, but it was going to take some work to get up to par. So we went back to the negotiator explaining that we have a big issue here. We're obviously dealing with numbers and we're off. And basically she did not want to wiggle. So this video is just to explain to you some of our process that we had to use. Some agents will just fold the cards right there. Okay, I'm going to go list it for $290 and hope I find a cash buyer because we know it's not going to appraise for $290. So let's just see if I can get lucky and find a cash buyer that doesn't want an appraisal.
Nor will anybody buy it at $290.
Exactly. So it's going to sit in the market, and then what's going to happen? Trustee sale date's going to come December 1st, and guess what? Homeowner's going to be out.
Okay, so listen to this. Is the trustee sale set for December 1st?
It is.
Okay, so the consumer out here is hearing, oh, you guys are just going to stop because you're stuck because the lender's stuck.
No.
Or the lender's stupid. What's your process between now and December 1st?
Well, it started last week. Previously to getting this file, part of our pre-escalation, we call it, is gathering information as to who supervisors are in the company. So I had about 7 higher-ups in our database that I was one by one reaching out to. Some of them were out of the office. The higher-up that I really needed to reach out to just got back today, and that's really who I'm waiting on. But I went to their supervisor, and at their department, they weren't willing to help. They just were not willing to help, and they did not want to postpone the trustee sale. They just wanted me to put it on the market for $290,000, and that's just not going to happen. So.
Okay, so you hadn't really brought up anything specific, which is good as far as what bank or whatever, but
yeah.
Talk to me about what you think those individuals that have responded in a, oh, we can't help you fashion, what's going on in their head? Why are they missing?
They're just looking at that number that they're relying on the agent that provided that BPO. My guess is at 290, and their vision is so blocked by that 290,000 that they can't get around. Let's really look at the comps that we're delivering. We're not fudging the numbers.
Okay.
And I just think they're dealing with a lot of files, and it's just, from what I hear, maybe they're getting bonuses for either rejecting or completing short sales. Who knows?
Okay.
So maybe they're just.
So basically, talk to the consumer here. They don't have a personal agenda out against the consumer. They're not just trying to make an example of somebody and say, no, we only want 290, like based on some made up number.
Sure.
They've got a bad number, and their processes just don't allow them to effectively change.
Exactly.
Would that be a
Yep.
cool.
So what I'm hoping for today, and after we're getting ready to go teach a class here, but after that, I'm going to get back on the phone and I'm going to work the emails that I sent last week. I'm going to follow up with those that are back in the office today. And basically, I need to have something happen by the end of this week. I have about 5 days to make this happen. I think more like 3. I expect something by Wednesday. And maybe I'll come back here and shoot a video for Thursday and give you an update on what happened. So
Right on. And for sure, by December 1st, we'll come out and let them know again.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd like to say to the homeowner that I think you're really trying to express is to let the homeowner know that it's not the bank against them. It's just bad processes, bad bureaucracy, bad numbers on BPOs. Yeah. There's so many moving parts that if everything's not tight and clean, then it makes it a harder job. Doesn't mean you won't get it done, though.
Exactly.
It just means it's a tough journey.
Yeah, I mean, we have some techniques that we use, and there's other agents out there that won't use the techniques that we use. I'll just say that. I'm not going to blast anybody, but just we don't give up, and it's really, I don't sleep at night. I was up to 1 o'clock gathering information on this, sending out emails, and up at 6 o'clock following up with people that were on the East Coast that were just getting there at 9. So it's just one of those things that we have to do, and I'm prepared to do it.
Right on.
So I'm going to wrap it up. You got anything else, Coach, you want to say?
That's enough, brother.
All right, let's go do this. So we're all done. Again, Arizona Short Sale TV. We'll check you out tomorrow. Thanks.